So, what do you do when your brain's absolutely not functional? You've had yet another night of shit sleep. Did not went to bed at 3 a.m. today. Yes, 3 a.m. Woke up at 6. Could not sleep. Finally, around 8 a.m., gave up, took half a Xanax, and passed out. Woke up again today around 3, I think, and finally feel a little bit better, but still, brain is in a fucking cloud. This is getting kind of old, very, very old. But when you're non functional, when you can't do anything other than stare at the screen and watch old episodes of Mad TV, what the fuck? Just say hello to everyone. Say Merry Christmas, say hello, hang out with my online friends, because why the hell not? How are you tonight? All of you, tell me. I want to know. Ask me weird questions. The gray suit has come off. I will answer any questions you wish to know about Zeta Reticula, the unknown, cryptids. I don't know where I'm going with this. Yes, hello all and Merry Christmas. What's going on? Give me a topic. Give me something to talk about. JC's in the audience. JC, post a link to your website so people can order the latest two issues of Pissant Apocalypse because it's damn awesome. Really like, and I think people should. I think people should order it. The first two were very enjoyable. The second two really start to develop the plot, and I like. It is very good. I hope you all enjoyed our Christmas horror stories last night. Seems YouTube has taken it down, so I'll have to figure out why. Maybe I'll just put a best of reel. I'm almost done with the edits for my second book in the series. Oh, okay. Yes, here you go. Here is the link to J.C.'s Instagram, and you got to check this out. It's looking pretty damn good. And I really like the twist of who the woman that's been following him around is. Not the pregnant one, but the other one. The twist is genius. New plesiosaur. Is that plesiosaur? Yeah. A new plesiosaur has been discovered. It's called the snarky crocodile. Are you shitting me? I mean, I'd believe it. We've got what creatures named after Lovecraft and his monsters. We've got asteroids named after SG-1. It only makes sense that we would go down that path. Yes, we will absolutely do that. Things that just, as you notice, we've skipped the last show because, again, I have not been very functional. Enjoy while you can. The author of Berserk is being subjected to a cancel campaign. I thought he was dead. What the fuck? And what is that in response to? Who are you responding to? You're responding to user X. I don't. Yeah, you know what? Anytime the cancel crowd shows up, beat them with sticks. Seriously, just we all need to start dogpiling on these people. Seriously, just ridicule them, make fun of them. Don't engage in serious conversation with the cancel brigade. You can't. These are unreasonable people. The best thing you can do is laugh and belittle them. The thing they hate most is being laughed at. So yeah, and I would suggest dogpiling on them. There's no other tactic. Being reasonable does not work with these people. And usually, I am very much a free speech kind of guy in every way. I'm very much about fairness. But when people refuse to obey their own fucking rules and insist everyone live by their rules, yeah, no matter how unreasonable their rules are, force them to live by them. They're their rules. They should fucking live by them. Bah humbug, YouTube. I missed last stream. Yeah, we were telling disaster stories of Christmas. Okay, yes. Muria is dead, but these people... Like to defile. Oh yeah, they do. They are definitely the kind to dig up corpses and rail them in the butt. That is true of the SW types. Anytime they try and cancel a writer, the book is good right away. Yeah, actually, that is true. I would say that is a consistent trend that I have noticed. If the right people, or if it pisses off all the right people, it's probably worth your time. And I mean organically piss them off. I don't mean like somebody who actually seeks out their attention. Because that's just, that's a game as well that a lot of people play. They'll purposely seek out their attention and cause a controversy so that people will buy their books. Metal Gear. Is that what you're playing right now? Okay. JC likes the fact that I commented that the twist on the sexy lady that's been following our hero in Pissant Apocalypse is somebody you wouldn't suspect. And he says, thanks, I plan to go back and add some extra pages to the second issue to show she's been there since the start when I do the collection. Cool, good. Let me know when you do the collection. Maybe I can help you out some, since I've had plenty of experience doing that. Humbug, okay. Flintstone's Christmas Carol is such an anachronism that it's almost uncomfortable. How so? What, do they wear blackface and smoke out or something? I don't know. What? What's so uncomfortable about it? I'll be honest. I'm sure I saw it at some point. I don't even remember it. In fact, I'm sure I've seen most of them. Okay. Hey, Chicken Sith, how's it going? Tell me when your gift arrives, my friend. We're curious what you'll think of it. Okay. My Star Warden books might piss the usual suspects off, but I don't have the popularity to get their attention. Well, if you actually start selling books, it will get their attention. It's very easy to get their attention. Hey, where is Kat? Well, she is working right now. And I should be working too, but just not feeling great. Okay, so do me a favor. Let's talk about stuff. Favorite band and their favorite song. Just start listing them. Your favorite bands and favorite songs by them. I'm curious. I want to know. Let me know. Okay. Sneak in late, hoping each. Hey, what? I just started, man. I've been on 8 minutes. I'd say you're right on time. You know the wokey mind works. They're not the ones to let bodies cool off. They've also gone as far as digging Lee's Civil War corpse. Yeah, that is true. They are scumbags. Absolutely. You know what? Your wife will be fine with this one. There will be no issue. Oh, wait a minute. You're here. Hey, how you doing, Kat? What's going on? Give me a topic. JC loves Sam Cooke, Iggy Pop, and Nirvana. But you didn't list a favorite song. Tron Legacy, original soundtrack by Daft Punk. That is a good choice, my friend. That is quite good. Led Zeppelin's Achilles' Last Stand. Not a bad choice. And you know what? You didn't pick a predictable one. You didn't do all the ones that everyone says, naturally Stairway or Immigrant Song. But no, you actually picked something else. Let's see. Sode Toxicity. SOAD. You know what? I'm not even sure what that is. I've never heard. I mean, there was SEOD, but I don't think that's the same thing. Sabaton. Metal Machine. That's. I think I'm going to have to look into that. That sounds pretty cool. I believe it was them. I was listening to their Christmas song, which was about I think a truce during World War I. over Christmas. Mr. No says, I've been very selective and unusual. Don't choose music based on artists, but if I like individual songs. Okay. So you're the kind of the modern downloadable audience who picks by singles rather than by album. Yeah, favorite albums work too. 6'2" Box Cutter Emporium, says Mr. No, never heard. Why would Flintstones celebrate Christmas? Jesus wasn't even born yet. Well, that is the question, you know. Maybe it was the birth of, they all had rock names, didn't they? So what would it be? A Jesus Christ Rock, or what would the Flintstones name for Jesus be? Because they all had names that were stupid puns on something based on rocks, which was kind of retarded. Never really into the Flintstones. Cruise Control by Special EFX. Now we're getting modern. These are things. What are the genres of these bands? I mean, I know about Sabaton, but Special EFX. Sam Cooke's version of Smoke Rings, Over and Over, not bad. Oh, System of a Down. Okay. I should have caught that quickly. Geez, you know, I've been listening to a lot of that Psycho Stick because I need to laugh, and that band's hilarious. And they do a System of a Down parody. Was it? Let's see. Maybe I should just download it and play it, since you'd probably find it amusing. Or at least play half of it. But yeah, they did a pretty good parody. Afghanistan was the Vietnam War for the Soviet Union. Yes, that is correct. And it hurt them worse than Vietnam hurt us. I am familiar with System of a Down. I didn't listen to them a lot, though. Oh, here we go. Now we're talking some of the classics. This is like my youth here. You know, Depeche Mode, Black Celebration, Def Leppard. Okay, that was junior high for me, like seventh grade. Ghost, not familiar with. Camouflage, The Great Command. Yeah, that was quite a song. It was kind of amusing, the whole story behind that track too, because everyone thought it was Depeche Mode, and it was released at a time when everyone was waiting for the next fucking Depeche Mode album, which was taking them forever. So that came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, is this the new Depeche Mode?" And I think that is why it became the hit it was. But it is worth it. That is a good track. It was kind of bizarre. Speaking of Def Leppard, was when Kat and I got married in Vegas. We were wandering around. It wasn't Caesar's Palace; it was near it, but there was somebody there with, oh God, I'm trying to remember. It was a banjo, and he was doing a banjo cover of "Pour Some Sugar on Me," which shouldn't have worked, but it did. And listening to the mashup of Kendrick's song and Wham's "Last Christmas." Dale Ross has been playing it as his intro song. Oh, really? I need to say hello to John. It's been out of touch too long. Blue Oyster Cult, Harvest Moon, Jesus Chip. Yeah, I think you're right. That probably would be it, Kat, for the Flintstones. Okay, EFX is jazz. Jesus Crystal. It sounds like more like a Bowie album or something. Geodes. Geode. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Geode. How about that? Of course, that's probably only funny to Kat. Oh, here we go. Chicken Sith again. Yep. Again, we're going back to my youth here now. Definitely getting Def Leppard. Yeah, they kind of stood out, didn't they? They definitely stood out among the hair metal bands. I'm not sure why. And it wasn't just the cool album art. I mean, I really didn't get into a lot of the hair metal back then. I don't know. And I know there was a whole period in which everyone was into Twisted Sister and Poison, and I don't know. I just never got into that, but I liked Def Leppard. There was something different about them. Maybe it was, I don't know. There was a little bit more edge to them, or just, I don't know. Skinny Puppy Warlock. Yeah, you can't go wrong there, my friend. Yeah, absolutely. That is a classic. And I always thought it was hilarious that the vocal effect that Skinny Puppy used in Warlock was the exact same vocal effect that was used for Soundwave on the Transformers. Fear Factory, Edge Crusher, not a bad choice at all. In fact, the what was it? Demanufactured album is my favorite by them, and that, of course, that was done with Reese Fulber of Frontline Assembly. I wish he'd stayed with them, to be honest with you. That one album he did, I think, is the best when they had Reese with the band, and he kind of defined their sound, and then he left. It was like, dude, you should have stayed. You guys were onto something. And I actually had somewhat of an inside window into when Reese left Frontline Assembly and joined Fear Factory for a while. And it was that Reese was, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, the band Frontline Assembly, industrial band from the 80s and 90s primarily. I mean, they're still around, but that was, the 90s was their heyday. They had just completed probably their best album ever, it was their best. It was Tactical Neural Implant. Just an incredible album. Frontline Assembly was trying to find something new. They'd written an entire album, decided they didn't like it, and released it as Noise Unit. And it's like, why didn't you just release this? This is great. Everybody loved it. So then they went back to the drawing board and they did an album called Millennium, which is they took their classic sound and merged it with all these metal samples. And other than the really crappy rap track they tried to do, or they tried to mix industrial rap and metal, almost all of those sucked for some reason. Like, even when Ministry did it, it was not very good. So they released this album, Millennium, which was the Frontline Assembly sound, but with all these samples from metal bands being looped. And then Reese got really into metal, and he'd been with the band since like the age of 16. He dropped out of high school and had like instant success in the band. And I guess he was hitting this point where he was like 22. He felt like he was pretty much Bill Leib's sidekick. He didn't really have an identity of his own. And so he left the band and he started touring with Fear Factory and did a whole album with them and started getting really into doing metal. And it was partially he just wanted to show that he could do it on his own. He didn't want to be just known as that guy who works with Bill Leib at under Frontline Assembly. And I'll tell you, Frontline Assembly was never the same after he left. I mean, they did some good stuff afterwards, but Reese had a hell of a lot of talent. And when he took it to Fear Factory and did the Demanufacture album, that is a great fucking album. And I know some people have mixed opinions about the Remanufacture album, which is every song on the album redone as either techno or industrial, but just as good in my opinion. I really enjoyed that too. And that Demanufacture album pretty much defined the sound of Fear Factory from then on out. To be honest with you, Reese then went off and did solo stuff that was obviously for money, and I wasn't really too impressed with it. It was about cashing in. So anyway, let's read the rest of these. Poets of the Fall, All For You. Not familiar with, actually. I'll have to look into that. Machines of Loving Grace, Butterfly Wings. That is such an underrated band. Their first album, Confused, the 60s influence was kind of odd. But that second album, Concentration, I believe? Almost every track on there is excellent. And you could hear the influence they had on ChemLab. But yeah, that was one of those bands that never got the attention it should have. I mean, they put that album out, Concentration, which was just great. They did that song Golgotha Tenements for The Crow, which was another just amazing track. And then the label said, no, do metal. And so they did more metal sounding stuff, and it flopped. The band was over. There are a lot of bands like that in the 90s where they were industrial, they were doing something innovative, and the record label said, well, if you don't do it more like grunge or metal, we'll drop you. And then the band fails. But yeah, Butterfly Wings is a classic. MF Doom, may he rest in peace. Well, what happened to Mr. Doom? So he died? No. Flintstones in the future is same time as the Jetsons, people in the sky in the future, and the Earth are back in the Stone Age, explains the crossover. That kind of does. Because, yeah, the towers were all above the pollution, weren't they? That was the point in the Jetsons. Mick Gordon of MF Doom. Mick Gordon, was that the dude from Numb? I mean, I'm going to check. No, okay, that's not the dude from... That's Don Gordon. I'm sorry. Too many bands in my brain. But throws my arms around Chicken Sith. Hysteria is my all-time favorite album for reasons too. And I will say, they always had the coolest fucking cover art, didn't they? I mean, it was them and Iron Maiden had really, really cool album art. Edge Runner is one of my favorites. Just started listening to some Poets of the Fall. Very cool, Trenton. Lost your virginity to Def Leppard. I think a lot of people did that. Of course, what was I listening to? I think I was hearing Her. I don't think I was playing anything at the time. Let's see. Yeah, what'd you lose? Yeah, what was playing in the background as you lost your virginity? I bet Wolf would have an answer like police sirens or the traffic outside the courthouse. Those commies can't handle the goat fuckers. They're like sharks, but with beards. They piss off hornets, and the hornets can't eat pork. They're like pissed off hornets. If hornets can't eat, yeah. What was that? What was the Paris? Yeah, I think that was in the Paris Cat, where we saw the guy with the banjo playing "Pour Some Sugar on Me." Lorena McKenna, Highwayman. The cool thing about that track, Chicken Sith, is that it's essentially the poem put to music. Now, I have to admit, she is awesome. Her work is incredible. She's obviously one of those goths who said, okay, I can take it somewhere new, and went towards that kind of, it was very Celtic, but then she used other instruments from other cultures. The downside to Lorena McKenna is I was listening to that when I was dealing with Crazy Girl that won't leave. You remember Crazy Bitch? Yeah. Really bad time in my life. Not good. And so unfortunately, if I hear Lorena McKenna, a lot of those memories come back. It's just like that. New York, Army of Me, Angelfish. Not familiar with that one. You Could Love Her. Okay. Carpenter Brut, great choice. Hey, did they ever get the Blood Machines movie done? Because if it is, I want to see it. Damn it. Alsatia by Gal. I'm a writer, but pronouncing words is not one of my skills. So, tell me a bit about who they are. I think Anthem is a good Japanese band. Still getting into their music. Razor Fist Media. Oh, really? I'll have to look into that. I usually watch his Metal Mythos. If I was more functional and had more time on my hands, I think an Industrial Mythos show would probably do well. Anything from Bear McCready. Okay. Well, I will have to say the music he did for Galactica was awesome. Leopard was, I think that's, I don't know, Affy? Guys Could Love Him, Girl. Yeah, maybe that was it. Skinny Puppy, the band that Starfire's daughter likes. No, Skinny Puppy, the shirt that she bought at Hot Topics to make it seem like she was cool, because clearly the cunt writing it is a phony. If she actually listened to that band, she wouldn't have done any of that crap in her comic. That bitch is so fake. Danger Zone is one of my top favorites. Not familiar with. Fun fact: the Japanese anthem had an album called "Domestic Booty." That's genius. POD, Christian rock, and new metal says. So that was playing in the background when you were lost your virginity in the bushes of the courthouse. I'm just making sure. I want to be clear on this. Oh yeah, Kat Nishi ripped on that for yeah. We tore that one to shreds. Damn it. We've talked demanufacture before. Yeah, we have. But the audience didn't know that. I don't think a lot of people out there know the brilliance that is Fear Factory. And it's interesting. You can really hear how Frontline Assembly affected them because they had that first album, which was pretty much straight death metal. Then they had the thing where Frontline Assembly remixed a bunch of their tracks. If it was Fear is the Mind Killer was the name of the album or the EP, and then Demanufactured happened. The Kinks Father Christmas. Oh yeah, that's a perfect one. Yeah, I have heard that song so many times on the radio, on K-Rock when I was in high school, but I never really paid too close attention to the lyrics. Recently, I was watching the video and listening, and it's like, this is about a mall Santa getting mugged in a working class part of Britain. David Bowie, Black Star, Pink Floyd, The Final Cut, ZZ Top, Have Mercy, Jesus Left Chicago. Oh, okay, cool. I'll say it. I love Wham, says Fair Maiden White. They were everything I wasn't. Male, half gay, tan as fuck, blinding white teeth, seemingly happy. Albums looked out of place next to my Iron Maiden, though. Wham was kind of whatever happened to the other guy in Wham? I mean, it all became about George Michael. I've told you my George Michael story, right? In junior high, where the day that it came out that he was gay, there were all these girls just weeping. Oh, you'll never have a chance with them. He's gay. I'll never have my chance at George Michael. I mean, girls were crying all day over this. It's like, yeah, okay. And I'd make fun of that, except then in high school, a lot of you have heard this already. It came out that Freddie was gay, and all the metalheads I knew at the time, they all got drunk and were like, whoa, man, I can't believe it. Freddie Mercury's gay? It's like, well, the band was named Queen. I mean, and they're all kind of drunk and crying. Well, no, man, I listened to those songs and I'd hear him sing about his life, and it's like, that's my life. But the songs are about being a fag? And then finally, no, it's okay to like Queen because Metallica liked Queen. And if Metallica likes Queen, it's not gay. Eloise, you ever listen to Mess of Me and Selling the News by Anthem? I haven't. Not familiar with Anthem, honestly. Who doesn't love Wham? Okay. Danzig, she rides out on. Yeah, anything. There was a period in which it didn't matter what Danzig did. It was good. I mean, when his voice started going to shit, okay, well, but, it happens. It happens. It's just, I don't know. Some people, their voice gets better at age. And then there are people like Bob Dylan where, the older he got, the worse his voice got. Of course, I never thought his voice was great to begin with, but you know what I mean. We all have a weak spot for Cyndi Lauper time after time. Hey, I have a weak spot for Cyndi Lauper in general. Okay, let's see. You ever listen to? Okay, no. You ever listen to "Mess of Me" and "Selling" by Switchfoot? No, I'm not even familiar with the either. Misfit, Dig Up Her Bones, Chick City. Oh, here we go, cat. Well, see, I know a lot of these, but Diorama, Synthesize Me, Snow in China, Mind Sucker, Kill Shelter, and Antipole, Buried Deep, Depeche Mode, Halo, Rammstein. I got a lot of these in my rotation now. You mean like their Christmas song? Oh wait, that's Psycho Stick. Blut Angel is great too. Black Roses, one of my favorite. Yeah, yeah, I love how over the top Blut Angel is. It's like the gothest of goth. The original soundtrack, Night Entire Castle album, just Night. I'm at a loss. Sorry. I know. I just know Fear Factory version of Cars. Oh no, Cars was by Gary Newman. Sorry. I'm a fairly big Gary Newman fan. Um, but yeah, that was actually a cover of a Gary Newman song, and there are two versions, both worth hearing. And there's the one that's just Fear Factory covering it, and then there's the one where they did it with Newman, and they traded off with vocals, and Newman did his own remix of it. Both very good, and the video is entertaining as hell. I actually got to interview Fear Factory years and years ago after Demanufacture came out. Okay, going through these. There's something about older women that just does it for me. Wait, are we still on music? Oh shit. I like this indie band called Orc. Well, it depends on what you mean by older women. I mean, I will agree to a certain point. Yeah, I mean, there's the granted the point where all women hit the wall, but then everybody gets old. Look, it's just reality. None of us ever stay in our prime. We're all going to eventually hit that point where we look old. It's just reality. But yeah, definitely up to a point. Yeah, I understand it. There's the attraction in a many different ways. Especially if the older woman takes care of herself or has certain curves. And there's also the attraction that certain older women in general, they don't have the hangups of younger women. They're older, wiser, and more experienced, and so if you find the right one, and they're not going to jerk you around or do all the stuff that you're used to with a insanely hormonal 16-year-old. Or even someone in their 20s. So I get why some young men would be attracted to older women. I got into him before they disbanded. Don't know much about him, actually. J.Ishiro and everyone in chat, what is your honest opinion about U2? They produced a number of good radio tracks. Pretentious as hell. Bono needs a good beating. Maybe that scene in Full Metal Jacket where they all got the soap in the socks and beat the crap out of the is it Gomer Pyle? I think Bono could use that happen to him like 10, 20 times, then and maybe seal him in an oil drum and just roll him down a hill with a bunch of rocks. Because he's just so damn fucking pretentious. Blumchen du und ich. I don't know what that is. Other than very German. U2, overrated, says Trenton. What's your opinion of Jeremy Inkle left spine down? I tried. I'll give it to them. It definitely was, a blending of electronics and punk. It definitely hit kind of the cyberpunk attitude, way too leftist in my opinion. But in general, their sound just didn't appeal to me. Just, I don't know. But no, I wouldn't criticize them. They were obviously very talented. Passion's Killing Floor by him. Okay. Kat says that she's counting the 15 minutes before her shift ends. Fair Maiden, I liked U2 back in the 80s, but Bono was insufferable then. And after Achtung Babe, he pretty much sucked. And he's really used all his wealth to do a lot of damage in the world. I mean, he's pals with the World Economic Forum. So I mean, there's your answer. Megadeth, Trust. Megadeth in general is good, but yeah, I mean, they are one of those bands where usually the album has like 4 or 5 standout tracks max, and then the rest are take them or leave them. But in general, any Megadeth album is going to have something good on it. Symphony for Destruction was kind of a special case. I mean, that was like the album for them, and that was going to probably stand out forever as their high point. Although I got to say, the stuff they're doing right now is pretty impressive too. And I like that Mustaine doesn't hold back. He says exactly what he thinks, whether it's popular or not. I'm not going to argue against. Okay, let's see. Oh, hey, I know you.
Yeah, I had such a long commute coming home.
Yeah, all the way down the hall and everything.
Yeah, even had to make a pit stop.
Did you know?
Yes, I did.
Did you pee on your hand?
It was magical.
It was a magical piss stop.
Well, golden and everything.
Wolf says Deftones. Change.
Yeah, you can bypass that comment of mine.
Crickets at the parking lot. Okay. I think he's talking about what he lost his virginity to.
Yes.
What were we playing when I banged you for the first time?
We weren't.
Oh, yeah.
Traffic?
Traffic, yeah.
The sounds of traffic?
Outside the window?
Yeah. Tweeting birds?
Tweeting birds.
How about one of my cats meowing for food?
Yeah, that's probably possible. The Highwayman is a 20-minute trek. I'm way behind here.
Yeah, you're about 15, 20 minutes behind. Although I did not read this comment. You have to do the new Robin, Tim Drake, for Adventures in Awful. Only thing why is in the art, us is the writing, a double whammy. Oh, we should take a trip to Atomic anyway.
Yeah.
Although not this weekend. For obvious reasons.
Highway to the Danger Zone, yes.
Hell yeah. Danger zone.
Oh, I know what this is a euphemism for.
No chirping birds.
No,
just the sounds of justice.
The sounds of justice. Was the doink doink sound from
exactly the
Law and Order?
Just a gavel, man.
Repeatedly going thunk, 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 thunk.
A big wooden gavel.
A big black gavel.
Yes. Mahogany.
Big mahogany gavel, yes. Repeatedly striking down over and over again like a jackhammer.
Yes, feel the justice.
Until he could hear the screams of justice in his ear. And throughout the courtroom, there was silence before the justice was so loud.
Oh, that's why Justice is blind. She's kinky.
She was fucked blind, or you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eloise, I don't know much about industrial music. I think the world very much needs an industrial mythos.
Well, I don't know if I'd cover much modern, but I definitely would be able to do 80s, 90s, and aughts very, very easily. Right now is a weird time for industrial music. There's a lot of people kind of repeating well-covered ground, stuff that was already... It's like nothing new musically, but they do an incredibly good job of it. Mm-hmm. So kind of like picking up where other bands left off. It's like, well, Ministry may suck ass now, but there's now this band.
Yeah. Speaking of, real quick, I see you brought up, is that the KMFDM's other band?
Oh, that was when the one where they were waiting to get their rights back.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Albums that are good: Fear Factory, Obsolete, Godsmack's first album, Black Veiled Brides, Wretched and Divine, and the first Breaking Benjamins. The only one I'm familiar with is Fear Factory, and Fear Factory is definitely awesome.
Führerschwanz. I'm not it.
Führerschwanz.
Okay.
Führerschwanz. There we go. I'm probably slaughtering it, but
How was your day at work?
actually not bad. This is gonna sound strange. I was busy and it made me happy.
Yeah?
Yes, because that meant that the day went by quicker. You know, otherwise just sitting there waiting for somebody to ask me a question was really boring. And there's nothing else for me to do. I've bugged my boss enough for it's like, hey, give me extra work, and there's none to give. So no, it actually made me happy. I was pleasantly busy. I did not have a rush, but I was pleasantly busy. So
I went to switch when mentioning. Okay. I like "No More Fucks to Give" song by someone whose name I can. Well, that's a good sentiment right all the way around.
My field of fucks, it doth plowed over.
Should you tell your Judas Priest story?
What, Halford?
Yeah.
What's my Judas Priest story?
How he'd be walking around the.
That's not really a story. It's just more a funny thing that Halford, Rob Halford lives currently in Hillcrest in San Diego, and so we'd occasionally see him walking around, and if you made a big deal of the fact that it was him, he wasn't too happy about it.
Well, the thing was, is the gag was, anytime you saw them or saw him, Halford walking around, people would hang out the window and start yelling, "Breaking the law, breaking the law," and he'd get mad.
Yeah,
he'd be out there walking his little Chihuahua around.
I think it was a mix.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
But he had one of these little tiny cute dogs.
Yeah.
And he's a fuck off.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob, breaking the law.
JC, I'm convinced George Michael dying on Christmas Day did some sort of magic that elevated Last Christmas into being a great Christmas song. I swear everyone hated that song before he died. Trenton, my dad is a Marine and loves ABBA, so I won't judge you. So then I asked Trenton if his dad's listened to a Liebox cover of "In the Year 2525." Larry. To Dominic. Freddie Mercury. I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men. Ice-T. I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, that's it. Fairmaiden, I love Gary Newman. Lately, I've been stuck on "My Name Is Ruin." The man never does bad. Don't think he can.
Yeah. "My Name Is Ruin" is excellent. "Dead Sun Rising" is fucking incredible.
Oh my God. Yeah, "Dead Sun Rising." Actually, strangely enough, it was Dominion Day that got me into him.
Dominion Day is great. Yeah, I'd say those kind of stand out as way up top for me. And then, strangely, there's just skip most of the 80s when the record label was like trying to make him sound like Prince, and he was just trying to keep his job. So you skip way back to the 70s and early 80s. Pleasure Principle and especially Replicas. Great fucking albums. I especially have a soft spot for Replicas. And there's a real innocence to it because he was in a punk band and he encounters a synthesizer and just says, "I'll mix them."
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to be anything. It was just, "I'll do this."
And there you go.
Yeah, and it was so innovative. Oh, yeah. Well, you mean, oh God, Mancini, right? Oh God, let's see.
You talking about the good, the bad, the ugly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marconi. It's Ennio
Marconi.
Marconi, you mean? Yeah, just about anything Marconi had done, it was great. Yeah, I don't think anybody trusts Games Workshop or Amazon anymore.
Yeah.
Filipinos are crazy over Dancing Queen. Gay people are crazy over Dancing Queen too. So are drag queens for some reason. Don't know why.
Have no clue. You know, legitimate thing. Before it got icky and gross, I've been to a couple of drag shows. And you know what song I'm absolutely shocked I've never seen anybody perform to, and you'd think it'd be tailor made?
Yeah.
I Could Never Be Your Woman by Whitetown.
Huh.
I've never seen it. You know, maybe I'm sure somebody somewhere has performed to it, but you'd think that would be like one of those staples.
Agreed, Undead Quinn. I mean, it is very interesting. What I liked about though, with when Newman decided to go industrial, he didn't just sound industrial; he made it his own.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you could hear the Nine Inch Nails influence, but he didn't sound like he was trying to be Nine Inch Nails. It was still very much Gary Newman.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know anything about this. You'll have to answer this one.
MILF Manor on TLC. Oh, if that's what I think it is, it's a reality TV show where it's MILFs and they're competing for something. Probably a young man. And it sounds cringe.
Okay.
It's
better if you read them.
Primus, Tommy the Cat.
Primus in general, I've had a soft spot for. I knew about Primus because
Is Tommy friends with the Big Brown Beaver?
Well, Tommy the Cat's voiced by Tom Waits.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay.
So you make of it what you want.
Okay. What's he building in there?
Yeah. I mean, it is a good mix, but I mean, in general, I knew about Primus before anyone cared, not because I was into them, but I had friends that introduced me to Primus. And at the time, I liked Primus, but I wasn't really heavy into them. It seems like the older I get, the more I like Primus and the more I like Faith No More. Mm-hmm. I especially like, was it My Name is Mud and Hello, Mr. Crinkle, which I know is not, a lot of people didn't like that phase, but I really liked how bizarre that was.
But you go for oddball bizarre. I mean,
yeah.
You know, I think Devo is.
Oh yeah, always gonna love Devo.
And of course, Oingo Boingo.
So yeah, I mean that album. I mean, in general, I like Primus though. Primus is cool. Even their recent stuff, which I mean, you can tell he's slowing down, but like Shake Hands with Beef is fucking hilarious, especially when you realize it's about masturbation.
Now link that with Shake Hands with Danger.
Okay, let's see. He once was, but boy, did he get pussy whipped and woke.
Well, they were commenting on me saying the first CD I ever purchased was in 3D. With Nature Trail to Hell.
And the first concert we attended together.
Yes.
Was Al at the fair.
At the Del Mar Fair. Al at the Del Mar Fair.
And we sat next to that couple where the girl was dating the ADHD kid who did not have any time for his girlfriend.
No.
He wanted to have sex with Al. It was very much so.
He was all about the yank.
And just the sign, I love you, Al. And
well, no. Okay. We're in.
He looked at me. Did you see?
We're in might as well be nosebleed seats. Because this was at the Del Mar Fair. So the concert was actually on the racetrack itself, and we're all in the stands that overlook the racetrack. And I mean, Al was a dot. He was a tiny little speck, but this guy brought, I'm not shitting you, his LP collection to the concert. Not to have Al sign them,
to wave in the air.
Yeah, to wave in the air. And I asked him, did you bring the actual discs or just the covers? He goes, no, the discs are here. It's like, do I have to bring it all? They're like, oh my God.
And I'm just looking at this girl and saying, run. Girl, do yourself a favor, run while you can.
Girl, he doesn't love you.
He doesn't love you.
Girl, he's cheating on you right now, man.
He doesn't love you, and you're going to go into his room one day and realize that he's sculpted a Weird Al out of mashed potatoes and has been fucking it.
Look, girl, just while he's here, silently slip away, go back to the fair, eat some funnel cake, and then leave.
What do I think of video game music? Oh, actually, that has been one of the cool things about the aughts, and I would say probably up until maybe 2016.
Yeah, I love video game music.
We have gotten some really good music out of video games before it all went to shit. Michael McCann's Deus Ex soundtracks, both exceptional. Nier Automata, exceptional.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Lament of Innocence, absolutely wonderful soundtracks.
There was that one game about the crystals and the method.
Oh, nitrous oxide.
That was pretty good.
Damn, I want to play that now. Thank you for reminding me. I should play that.
What's the one that you keep on your phone?
I had a couple.
And you use its ringtones?
I use a medieval soundtrack.
Oh, no. Was it Xenogears or?
I never use Xenogears.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
I mean, I have Xenogears, but I don't use it for my ringtone. I used medieval, and I've used Final Fantasy VII.
I'm gonna go hose something down.
Oh, okay. Now it's your time to have a magical moment. I could go on and on about video game music. So yes, video game music is awesome, and what I have used as my ringtones is the song Scrap Brain from the Sonic the Hedgehog Game Gear game, not the Genesis. I didn't have a Genesis. I had the Game Gear. And the Scrap Brain level from the first Sonic the Hedgehog game, that music is awesome. So I've got that as my ringtone. Actually, Ishi ran away with my phone and brought it in here. There it is. So if people really want, I can play it. I don't think it'll get tagged. I mean, does anybody care about Game Gear anymore? Anyway, actually, we're waiting for, William, Electric Six Synthesizer. I love that song. That's my favorite Electric Six song. Although, it was Gay Bar that introduced me to Electric Six, but it's Synthesizer that I love. Hi.
Hi.
In fact,
Electric Six, hell yeah!
In fact, specifically, it was the website Rather Good that introduced me to Electric Six with the song Gay Bar. And if you know what Rather Good is,
your Generation X.
Your Generation X, and you're awesome. And for those of you who don't know what Rather Good is, I am sad. You may know them from those really weird ass Quiznos commercials in the early aughts. That guy had an entire.
But website. Yeah, I love what Electric Six does.
Mm-hmm. Electric Six,
and the videos are great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bar one. Honestly, the majority of bands mentioned tonight, I've never bothered with. The more popular they were in the 90s, the less likely I was to listen to them.
Well, okay, that's fine. But what do you listen to? The question wasn't what you like, what you don't like. It's what are your favorite bands and what songs are they? Please share. Yeah, let's listen. I want to know what Bar One listens to. Quake 2, decent one. Yeah, actually,
Quake 2 had a great soundtrack.
Oh God, was it Nine Inch Nails did the second Doom or the third Doom soundtrack? And then he also did.
lean towards third.
And I know that he did. Was it Quake as well?
He definitely did Quake.
He did the first Quake, I believe. Trent did.
Yeah, because
they had the 9-inch nail gun in it.
Because the second one,
I think they got Frontline Assembly.
Yeah, it was Frontline.
Oh shit! Actually, War Mech by Frontline Assembly is one of the best things they've done in decades.
Oh,
the War Mech soundtrack by Frontline Assembly for the game War Mech is really good.
Cool.
It's like, shit. See, you have talent, Bill. What have you been doing? Stop making the same album over and over again. They give them a topic. They say, here, make a soundtrack for this style video game, and suddenly it's great. It's like, I don't know. It's like every time Frontline puts out an album, it's like, you already made this album like 5 times.
I bought this when it was called this.
Yeah, actually.
I bought this when it was Noise Unit.
Yeah, that's true.
Or worse, it's like, I bought this when you changed all of the presets on your keyboard to sound more like Delirium.
Okay, so here it says go-to 90s bands were Alice Cooper, good choice. Gwar, excellent choice. Sloppy Seconds, not familiar with.
And Ted Nugent, yeah.
Is that really 90s? I mean, that goes back to like the 70s.
Nugent is timeless. Nugent is forever.
Well, see, no, we don't want to know what your favorite 90s bands are. I want to know what your favorite bands are. There's no constraints here.
Well, he may have been saying what his go-to was in the 90s.
John the Fisherman by Primus. That's an amusing one. We Care a Lot. Oh, that was before Mike Patton joined the band by Faith No More. You actually liked that.
Did I? Okay.
Yeah, you don't like Mike Patton's voice much, but you did like We Care a Lot.
Okay. That goes back to my hypothesis that any band out there, I can find at least one song of theirs.
Well, that was before they got Mike Patton, who started doing a lot of the songwriting. We Care a Lot is very 80s, and it's, again, one of those songs that kind of encompasses the madness of the 80s and pop culture.
Oh, okay.
What was it? We care a lot about the garbage pail kids that I played you the video and everything. You liked it. It's a dirty job. Somebody's got to do it.
It sounds vaguely familiar, but I'm not recalling, but I will totally believe you that I liked it.
What about Your Friends, TLC, War Pigs, Black Sabbath, and Through the Myths of Time, AC/DC. Good tribute to Bon Scott and Malcolm Young. Cool. Well, Black Sabbath is just a classic in general. Let's see.
Chicken Sith apparently did a spit take at one point.
Huh. What did I say or what did she say? Oh, geez, we're
behind. It's okay. It's okay.
Iron Maiden, Power Slave.
Nice. John! I've been listening to nothing but Lust Mord while writing something weird. Not industrial, but more variety than drone.
It crosses over into definitely the realm of industrial. Yeah, Lust Mord. I wrote Tabla Rasa listening to Lust Mord and a few other bands that sound similar to listening nothing but to that music while writing that story because it had the right feel.
Cool.
And yeah, I've played Lust Mord for you. It's one of those things where it's long, noisy, droning, very ominous. I'm kind of surprised there haven't been more horror movies that have been scored or just used Lust Mord tracks.
It's like Nights. I can't remember the other. Was it NYTT? It's that weird.
Oh no, it's not like that at all. This music sounds like the stuff of nightmares.
Oh, okay. So what, like Spiritual Archives?
Geez, hold on a second.
Okay. Or you'll
God, what was it? We had watched a movie that used some of his music, and the whole thing sounded like it had been scored by him. I think we even own it. It's a horror film.
Is it The Void?
It might have been The Void.
Okay. I'm thinking the void.
But yeah, it was like listening to it, it's like, this sounds like Les Mord. And it turns out they used a few tracks and then they had someone else do tracks that sounded like it. And Les Mord is in
DE.
Brian Les Mord's the name. There.
Can you play this? Or?
I don't think the audience can hear it, so it doesn't really matter. Here we go.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, and it's not something I can even play over the air because like one song's like 15 minutes long.
But yeah, I remember when you started getting into them. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to give yourself nightmares, that's something to just lay back and listen to. While you go to sleep. Yeah, you're gonna have some shitty dreams. really, really freaky ones.
Actually, a Covenant song did that to me.
Have I ever heard of 16 Volt? Yeah, definitely. I interviewed him a few times, saw him live a few times. 16 Volt, their first two albums are fucking awesome. After that, it's kind of hit or miss. But yeah, that first album's a classic. Second one's pretty damn good as well. Mm-hmm. And their side project, Hellbent is really good too. That first Hellbent album is one of, I think, one of those few albums that I'd say is perfect. Young Blaze, fuck the shits, I'm out. Never heard of, but I like the sentiment. Mm-hmm. Oh, whoa. Okay, now you're getting into real hardcore industrial. I have been meaning to get a hold of a few of his albums. I just haven't had the time to just sit down, download, and listen to them because, yeah, Author and Punisher is that is one of the few bands that I would make time to go see if they performed live.
Oh, really?
It's one of the few bands that I'd say, okay, yeah, you've taken the concept of industrial music and taken it to the next level. The first wave of industrial music was actually more neo-primitive, mm-hmm. where it was banging on metal and making your own instruments out of scraps. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until about the 80s that it started to become more synthesized and electronic, and it went in that direction. The first generation, it was, again, almost neo-tribal. And a lot of experimental tape loops and noises, almost anti-music. Until it became what we know of as today and had more to do with dance music. Author and Punisher is curious because he builds all of his own instruments, but they're electronic, or maybe even not electronic, they're electric. And so he writes his own music with the instruments he creates, because I believe he's an engineer. And it has rhythm. It has, I would say it's some of the heaviest music I have ever freaking heard.
Well, it looks like he's still touring.
I'm just going to try and find a video of him playing the instruments because the music itself is like...
Skip.
Oh, I can skip it now. Good. Here we go. See? Actually, I'll share this. I'll just give you the visual to show you what I mean by this guy creates his own instruments. I don't like that they changed the names of the tabs. But yeah, you see he's got the, I believe that thing on his neck is a sensor. And then, yeah, he sings through that thing. And I believe that operates like a guitar pickup, but it picks up his voice.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if it was like a vocoder.
But yeah, it's some really innovative stuff. I'm going to see if I can. But yeah, he's built all these different rigs where it just, I don't know, at a time in which you've got synthesizers that can create almost any sound, mm-hmm. To take it back to almost analog sounds instead of microchips. And he's made it original by actually creating instruments with its own inputs, and it's really changed things up.
That's cool.
But then it's also music that's it's the kind of music that's tiring to listen to after a while because it's going to put you through the ringer.
You're still sharing.
I know.
Okay.
I know. And hopefully I won't get copyright striked for this or taken down because I'm showing some images. But yeah, all of these are inputs that he can play through the synthesizers as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Humble Marty, I found a heavy metal song by the band Dream Eaters called Fuck My Skull. It sounded like a great theme song for headaches, migraines, and headbanging. Excuse me.
Dream Theater, yes, very good. Chicken Sith.
Acid Trip. Imagine if Africa had nukes. How would Wakanda react? Oh, who am I kidding? The way things are, Wakanda probably gave them the nukes.
Yeah. Wakanda is kind of coming across as the most selfish country on earth and the most self-serving. Is the meme about women liking Deftones true? Seems like it.
What about women liking Deftones?
Ennio Morricone. Oh man, we are so far behind. We are so behind in the conversation. This was like an hour ago now.
Half an hour. No, 20 minutes.
Well, okay, now we're talking.
Bar one, you guys are seriously messing with me talking about some Newman guy in industrial music because I keep thinking of Randy Newman.
Oh God, no, not Randy Newman.
No, not Randy Newman.
Yeah, that I'm not really into the Family Guy, but geez, that gag about him on the Family Guy is so goddamn accurate.
What about Alfred E. Newman?
I like the story about the fact that Les Claypool of Primus auditioned for Metallica, and he weirded them out.
Really?
They needed a bass player, so he auditioned, and they're like, no.
Ooh, Chicken Sith put down Susie and the Banshees.
Hey, that's a classic.
Nice. Oh, so did Dominic.
Here.
Dominic Powell, Can't Help Fall in Love, both versions from Elvis Presley and UB40. Spellbound by Susie and the Banshees. Train of Thought, Aha. Behind the Groove, Tina Marie, and Lithium from Nirvana.
Not a bad choice. Aha is always good.
Yes.
Tina Marie. Oh God, I should know that one.
So should I. And I'm
early hip hop, I believe.
I'm totally blanking.
Spellbound by yeah, that's a classic. You know, that's a cover there, I believe. The Passenger. That's a cover of an Iggy Pop song, and her version's better. Corey Hart.
I just listened to Train of Thought from Aha yesterday. You rock. Also, Corey Hart does a good version of Can't Help Falling in Love with You.
Not familiar, but I will check this out. Don't yawn. I was just going to kind of fuck around and then go watch a movie with you or something, but
we can still watch a movie.
We can't decide if we're going to watch. Well then. Hello everyone. I am fine. How are you?
I say we watch Ghosts.
You want to watch Ghosts?
I want to watch Ghosts because it's called Ghost Watch, so we should.
You want to explain that?
Oh, okay. This is awesome. I was watching a program, a little mini documentary on YouTube about basically this generation's answer to the War of the Worlds hysteria, where in the 90s on Halloween, the BBC decided to do this fake special. Now, it was in their version of the TV guide. There were ads for it being ran. So, anybody with 2 brain cells would know that this was fake. There were normal television commercials, there were normal everything, but basically they were going to do this special newscast where there was actual proof of poltergeist activity in this one house in northern England, and the team go into the house to see what's going on. Now, this was before reality TV was a thing, so nobody had ever seen anything like this before. And they did a really good job of adding in different spliced in effects and things. In fact, the whole thing had actually been filmed about a month previous, so they had it already pre-edited with stuff inserted and other stuff already. But there were people who legitimately thought that they were doing a news broadcast about a haunted house. And to those people's credit, they did have real BBC news anchors covering the story. But again, anybody with 2 brain cells would have known, okay, this is a Halloween thing. But it was so bad that the BBC was flooded with phone calls of people trying to get in. They did have an automated answering system to say, thank you for watching this. It's just a program. If you'd like to tell us what you think of it, please leave a message. But it was so overrun, people couldn't get in. It was just heightened the panic. And it was so bad that there were traffic accidents of people trying to race home or race to different places. You had 6 women who went into labor due to their fear of the poltergeist activity.
Yes, little child. This show scared you out of me.
Pretty much. Children who were allowed to stay up to watch this were literally traumatized. There are support groups for people who still to this day have like mild PTSD from this program. And one poor kid, and I legitimately feel sorry for this kid, one poor kid committed suicide. I think he was like 14 or 15. But he was so freaked out by what he saw that he committed suicide. And it was so bad. The fallout was so bad that the BBC swore they would never air it again, and they have never re-aired it to this day. There were inquests made. There were lawsuits basically filed. And it was put out once in the aughts on DVD, and they've just recently released a Blu-ray of it with all of this production and documentary stuff. And I pre-ordered that, and that just came in the mail about 2 days ago. So we're going to watch it. And again, it's called Ghost Watch. It's fascinating. It's just like a piece of history. Just absolutely fascinating to me. Anyway. What are you looking at? You want to find out if it really is the void?
Yeah, or void. So this just needed to be said.
Yeah, Filter only wrote 2 songs. The rest were remixes.
Yes.
Ouch.
Yes, and so all that bitching and whining that Trent had stole their music. Pretty much, well, the proof's in the pudding, isn't it?
So who's better than Filter with mostly remixes, or Korn where they just had the same song just continuing from album to album? Until Freak on a Leash, when they figured out that third chord.
Oh, Korn never was claiming that someone copied them.
No, that's true.
Or stole their music. So
that's true. John Lusmord co-wrote the score to The Gray Man with Christopher Young, who composed Hellraiser, The Grudge, etc., etc. Their styles really mesh well. That explains a lot.
Okay, well, this, here we go.
Bar 1. I also have a ton of Hank Williams Jr. and Charlie Daniels. 90s saw country topping the charts because a lot of other genres were falling apart. That's true.
Sounds more throbbing gristle than modern. And yeah, exactly. And that's about Author and Punisher, I believe.
Chicken Sith to John. It's really hard to single out songs by Moody Blues and Blue Oyster Cult. Oh, I can single out a few songs from mainly Moody Blues. I don't know many from Oyster Cult. I would have to say that On Threshold of a Dream is it's almost a perfect album. And I really, really want to get a copy of an LP so that I can frame the artwork, because I love that album cover art. It's wonderful. I used to stare at it for hours when I was a kid. But anyway, John, Moody Blues, Acid and Pot, Blue Oyster Cult, beer, and Godzilla movies.
Sounds good to me. And somebody had mentioned Dance Dance Revolution. Never played. I don't even know what songs were on it.
I do. I have two of them.
You do?
I have it from the Disney version. That's where Knights of Fire came from.
I thought that was an anime.
No, I was absolutely shocked. You and I were in an arcade somewhere, and it was one of those things where I heard Knights of Fire, kick on, and I stopped in the middle of the walkway. It's like, where is that? I need to find where that came from, because I didn't know what it was from, but I found out it's from Dance Dance. Knights of Fire and the follow-up, Find the Way to Me. Yeah. Both of those songs are from Dance Dance.
This is kind of a off the beaten path, but in the 90s, George was into, was it Michelle Jarre, Vangelis, and Yanni?
Oh, Vangelis.
How about Kitaro? I thought his Silk Road soundtrack was really good.
It's excellent.
Vangelis, well, we all know why Vangelis is famous.
Yeah. And even though he gets a lot of flack, Yanni actually was good.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
I couldn't tell you. Honestly, I could not say. I don't even know.
Yanni,
I'm sure I've heard it.
Yanni is not the pan flute Kenny G. How about that? Dominic Powell, Gigantic Pixies, Hey Man, Nice Shot, Filter, Pepper, Butthole Surfers, Weapon of Choice, Fatboy Slim, I Adore Me More, Color Me Bad, If It Isn't Love, New Edition, and Informer, Snow.
Love Dream Theater. Let's see. If this is true, this is hilarious.
That's interesting.
Okay. Nurse with Wound. Okay, that's getting pretty experimental.
There's also a great cover of The Passenger on the Batman Forever Don't Judge Me soundtrack. I don't judge Chicken Sith because I remember that soundtrack actually being pretty decent.
I don't remember. Batman Forever?
Yeah. You get Seal, you got...
Wait, okay, Batman Forever was Batman Returns, Batman...
And then Batman Forever.
I don't think I've ever seen that film.
Val Kilmer.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it. I know you haven't seen it because it has Jim Carrey.
Bad Brains,
and,
yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones, great actor. I would even say... I'm okay with that role for him. Just that portrayal was god fucking awful. He was terrible as Two-Face. There's a lot with that movie where it's like miscast. Although the scene where you see Nigma making a bunch of his puzzle boxes, I think that's one of the few scenes that was left over from Burton's version. Because it's shot like Burton. And yeah.
Okay.
Bar one, fug. That's what we need to do is one of these days subject Ishii to original AMV help
quadrology.
Okay.
Yeah. Check out the 9. Okay, Go Godzilla.
Oh no, there goes Tokyo. Go, go, Godzilla.
Tommy Lee Jones didn't play Two-Face. He played Diet Joker Light.
Yeah, he did. Although I will have to admit, little preteen me had a major lady boner for Two-Face's dominatrix girlfriend.
I haven't seen the movie. I have no comment.
That's okay. You're not really missing much. She just looked nice. But Drew Barrymore played the good girl of Two-Face's girlfriends.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
Okay, I think we got through all these. Should we watch Ghosts?
We can go watch Ghosts.
We shall go watch Ghosts. Oh, this was a great thing. I like the fact that it was more audience feedback than me talking this time around. It's good to hear what you guys think for a change.
Yeah, and we got some names from I can't talk.
Sodom Agent Orange.
We got some names from pretty good bands here.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to go squeeze my wife's tits.
And Wolf, I give